Back in the PNC Bank Sports Corner with the newest member of the Nesson team, three-time Super Bowl champ LeGarrette Blunt, won two of those rings with the Patriots as a running back. So we want to take a look ahead to the Pats matchup with the Steelers. But first, going back to their Week 1 loss to the Dolphins, LeGarrette, what concerns you the most about the lingering offensive line issues we saw carry over from the summer into Sunday's loss down in Miami for the Pats?
Man, it is concerning to say the least. You definitely want your offensive line on the same page and moving on one accord. That's how you get your run game started. And with Bill and with New England's mindset and their approach to things, Bill's always going to tell you, "Hey, we want to run the football and we want to stop the run." Well, if we can't run the football, they will be in trouble if they don't fix the offensive line woes. They're going to be in trouble. Um, I think they have two really talented running backs to run the football. They just got to figure out a way to get them into open space, whether it's scheme wise, whether it's the issues with the O line making the blocks or knowing the assignments, whatever it is. They got to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to run the football and establish a run game is huge, not just for them, but in the NFL in general. They got to be able to run the football.
2 sacks, 3 QB hits. That's what happened to Mac Jones. But hit the nail on the head. Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, two starting caliber guys. They got to get them going. Now, Bill Belichick and the Patriots continue to preach patience. But at the end of the day, the offense scored just 7 points. What seems to be holding that unit back in your eyes?
I think that they got to get on the right page. The offensive play callers got to get on the right page with complementary offense. Even though you're not running the ball well, you still have to run the football. You still have to run the football. That sets up your play action. That sets up so many other things, starting from the run game. So, they got to protect Mac first and foremost. This is your first round draft pick. This is the guy that's going to succeed Tom Brady. So you got to protect him. You can't let him get hit 5 times a game. That's just he's not going to be able to hold up all season getting hit. 2 sacks and 3 QB hits or whatever, getting hit a bunch of times a game. That doesn't work. They're going to have to find a way to get the balls to their playmakers, and they have really good playmakers. Devontae Parker, a playmaker. Ramondre and Damian, they're playmakers. Nelly, playmaker. John and Hunter, they're playmakers. They have playmakers on the offense to get the job done. I just think that they need to probably take a step back and evaluate what kind of offense they want to run and reevaluate the physicality of the offense, because I think in order for you to run the football, you got to have a different mindset and different kind of physicality towards yourself. So, they spent all that money and they only put up 7 points. That was disappointing in my eyes. And I know it was disappointing in Bill's eyes. It's something that definitely got to be fixed and addressed. The defense didn't play horrible, but they definitely didn't play their best defense. Again, they didn't let a lot of guys get behind them. They let that one big pass to Jalen Waddle get behind them. It wasn't really behind him. He caught it and kind of split 2 guys and scored because he's actually really fast. So, just the minor details that they got to tweak. And who knows? This game might go the other way.
Of course, one of the touchdowns led up in that game was a strip sack, so not all on the defense, like you mentioned. But all right, next up, it's the Steelers. They're 1-0, had needed overtime to get past the Bengals for a win. No T.J. Watt this week for the Steelers. He's out for a long time with a pec issue, but they still forced 5 turnovers. They had 7 sacks, 6 of those not coming from T.J. Who do you like in this Sunday's matchup and why?
I mean, you got to take into consideration who they played. A division opponent is always going to be a tough game. No matter if they went to the Super Bowl, no matter if they played in the Super Bowl, no matter if they got the same exact team, at the end of the day, it's a division opponent. And they're always going to be tough. They're always going to be hard. Despite all the turnovers, they only won, by a field goal in overtime. So they made a lot of mistakes as well. Losing TJ Watt is huge. And then the fact that Najee got banged up too as well, and they're trying to limit him. Not limit him, but just trying to not use him as much. They're trying to reserve him a little bit more this season than they did last season. Those are all things that will affect the outcome of this game. If you don't have TJ Watt rushing on the outside, if you don't have Najee with 20 carries, that levels the playing field. That levels the playing field. It might even give New England a little bit of an advantage. So I think that they should always, I think that New England should definitely come in the game knowing that it's not going to be easy without those guys there. Pittsburgh is still going to be Pittsburgh, and guys are going to fill in and do their thing. But at the end of the day, they got to come in. They got to play hard-nosed football. They got to be able to run the rock. I don't care win, lose, or draw. You guys have to go in there and try to establish some sort of a run game, or else there's going to be a problem for the rest of the season moving forward. They got to establish a run game, and with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback, I'm almost positive that New England will get a couple turnovers as well. So. I'm gonna go with them on this one. This is gonna be a fun game to watch for them to bounce back off of a loss.
Second straight game on the road for the Pats. Mitch Trubisky looked shaky in week 1. We'll see how he'll do against his Patriots defense. LeGarrette, as always, thanks for joining me, man.
I appreciate it, George. It's always a pleasure, my guy. Nice to be on the team.